Hey, welcome once again, gentle folks. Thank you for joining me this week for your NFL Game Week picks. I hope you had a wonderful game week last week in terms of winnings and all of that great stuff. Well, as usual, we start with Thursday Night Football, and this week on Thursday Night Football, we're going to start with the Titans versus the Packers. And for this game here, I am expecting the Packers to take care of business. I'm going to say the Packers to win. And in terms of the spread, I'm going with the Packers at minus 2.5. And so here we go ahead to minus 2.5. In terms of total points, I'm seeing here we should have under 41.5 points in this game, and so we're gonna go with under 42.5 points. So recapping predictions for my predictions for the Titans versus the Packers. I'm expecting the Packers to win here, and the Packers to win at $1.60. And in terms of the spread, I'm taking the Packers at minus 2.5. and that's $1.71. In terms of total points, I'm seeing here we should have under 41.5 points in this game, and that's $8.90 if you should place bet on that total points. Alright, so we're gonna move on from the Packers and the Titans to Sunday football, and we start with the Bears versus the Falcons. And for the Bears versus Falcons, we're going to have here, I'm gonna go with the Bears to win this one. The Bears to win, and in terms of spread, I'm going to go with the Bears at plus 2.5. And in terms of total points here, I believe that we should have under 50 points in this game. So we should have under 50 points. So that's under 50.5 points here. Yeah. And so recapping predictions for the Chicago Bears versus the Atlanta Falcons. I'm expecting the Chicago Bears to win here. And in terms of win at $1 and win, and it's $2.37. And in terms of a spread, I'm going to take the Bears at plus 2.5, and I'm expecting the Bears to win at $2.05. And here on the total points, I'm saying that we should have under 50.5 points, and that's for the entire game here. And so that's $1.87 if we should get that under 50.5 points here in this game, the Bears versus the Falcons. And then we're going to move on from this game to the Panthers versus the Ravens. Alright, and for the Panthers versus the Ravens here now, I do expect the Ravens to win this one. Expecting the Ravens to win. I think it's going to be somewhat of a challenge for the Ravens, but I do expect them to pull out at the end of the day. The Ravens to win, and also I'm taking them on the spread, and I'm taking them at minus 6.5, but we don't have that, so we're gonna go with minus 7.5. Yeah. So recapping predictions, in terms of total points, sorry about that, gentle folks. Total points, I'm expecting here that we should have over 43.5 points in this game. Alright, and we're not seeing that, so we're gonna go with over 42.5 points. Alright, so recapping predictions for the Panthers versus the Ravens. I'm expecting the Baltimore Ravens to win this one at $1.18, and also in terms of the spread, I'm going with the Baltimore Ravens at minus 7.5, and that's $1.53. In terms of total points, I'm saying we should have over 42.5 points in this game, and that's $1.80. Alright, so those are the predictions for the Panthers versus the Ravens, and then we'll move on to the Cleveland Browns versus the Buffaloes. Alright, the Buffalo Bills. Alright, so the Browns versus the Buffalo Bills. I'm expecting the Bills to take care of business here. It's not going to be an easy one for them, but I do expect them to win. So the Bills to win this game. In terms of a spread, I'm going to go with the Bills at minus 7.5. Alright, so the Bills at minus 7.5. In terms of total points here, I'm going to say here we should have over 42.5 points in this game. Alright, so recapping predictions for the Browns versus the Bills. I'm expecting the Bills to win at $1.28. In terms of spread, I'm going with the Bills at minus 7.5, and that's $1.83. In terms of total points, we should have over 42.5 points in this game, and that's $1.80 if we do have that in terms of odds. Alright, so those are my predictions and betting tips for the Browns versus the Bills. And in terms of that, and then we're going to move on over to the Commanders versus the Texans. Washington Commanders coming off a big win, stopping the unbeaten team, only unbeaten team for the season so far. Well, they're no longer the only unbeaten team in the season, the Philadelphia Eagles. So they should be high on confidence. And for this game versus the Texans, I'm going to go with the Commanders to win. And in terms of spread, I'm taking here the Commanders at minus 2.5. Alright, and in terms of total points, I'm saying here we should have under 42.5 points in this game. Alright, so recapping predictions for the Commanders versus the Texans. I'm expecting the Commanders to win at $1.60. In terms of spread, I'm taking the Commanders at minus 2.5, and that's $1.71. In terms of total points, I'm saying here we should have under 42.5 points, and that's $1.66. Alright, so recapping predictions for the Commanders versus Texans. The Commanders to win, and we should have under 42.5 points for this game. And in terms of a spread, I'm going with the Commanders at minus 2.5. Alright, then from this game we move on to the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Indianapolis Colts. And for this game, I'm expecting the Eagles to go back to winning ways, and so therefore I'm going to take the Eagles to win this one. For the Eagles to win here, and in terms of a spread, I'm also taking the Eagles at minus 6.5 here. I've seen that, so we're going to go with minus 7.5. In terms of total points, I'm saying here we should have over 44.5 points in this game. So recapping predictions for the Eagles versus the Colts, I'm expecting the Eagles to win here at $1.35. In terms of spread, I'm also taking the Eagles to win here at minus 7.5, and we're getting $2.05 for that. In terms of total points, I do believe we should have over 44.5 points in this game, and that's $1.87 if that should happen, right, in terms of the odds. Right? So moving on from this game to the Jets versus the Patriots, the New York Jets versus the New England Patriots. This game should be an interesting matchup. It's going to be a tough one, I do believe, but I do expect Bill Belichick to find his way through it, and so therefore I'm going with the Patriots to win this one. The Patriots to win, and in terms of spread, I'm going to take the Patriots at plus 2.5. In terms of the spread, that is minus 2.5 rather in terms of spread. And so, and also in terms of total points, I'm saying here we should have over 39.5 points in this game, I do believe. Alright, so recapping predictions for the Jets versus the Patriots. I'm expecting the Patriots to win, and that is $1.60 to do so. And in terms of the spread, I'm taking the Patriots at minus 2.5, and it's $1.80. And in terms of total points, I'm saying we should have over 39.5 points in this game, and that's $2. Alright, so those are my predictions for the Jets versus the Patriots. Now we're going to move right along to our next game, and that is the Los Angeles Rams versus the New Orleans Saints. And for this game now, I'm expecting the New Orleans Saints to take care of business. It's not going to be easy though, but I do expect them to win here. The New Orleans Saints to win. And in terms of a spread, I would go with the Saints at minus 2.5. And in terms of total points on the board in this game, I'm saying we should have over 39.5 points in this game. Alright, so recapping predictions for the Rams versus the Saints. I'm expecting Saints to win here at $1.53. In terms of the spread, I'm going with the Saints at minus 2.5, and that's $1.60. In terms of total points, I'm saying we should have over 39.5 points in this game, and that's $2 if that should happen. Alright, so those are my predictions for the Rams versus the Saints, and now we're going to move on to our next game, which is the Detroit Lions versus the New York Giants. And I'm expecting the New York Giants to take care of business here, so I'm going with New York Giants to win. In terms of spread, I'm going with New York Giants at minus 2.5 as well. And in terms of total points here, I do believe we should have over 41.5 points in this game. And in terms of or recap, now let's go through a recap, and I do believe here that the New York Giants should win, and that's at $1.65. And in terms of spread, I'm taking the New York Giants at minus 2.5, and that's $1.80. In terms of total points, I believe we should have over 41.5 points in this game. Alright, and so therefore those are my predictions for the Lions versus Giants, and now we're going to move on to the next game, and the next game is the Raiders versus the Broncos. And for this game, I'm expecting the Broncos to take care of business here. Should be a tight game, I do believe, but I'm going with the Broncos to win here. Broncos to win, and in terms of a spread, I'm going to go with the Broncos at minus 2.5. Let's see here. Minus 2.5. We're not seeing that yet. Here we go. Broncos at plus 2.5. And in terms of total points, I'm saying here we should have in this game under 44.5 points. In this game, I do believe. So we have under 44.5 points. Recapping predictions for Raiders versus the Broncos. I'm expecting the Broncos to win here rather at $1.71. In terms of spread, I'm going to take the Broncos at plus 2.5, and that's $1.53. And in terms of total points, I'm saying we should have under 44.5 points in this game, and that's $1.60. Alright, so in terms of other game now, we're going to move on to the Cowboys versus the Vikings. And this should be a tough and interesting matchup. I think this isn't about this game, and on the day it's going to be a challenging one for either team, I do believe. But for me, I'm going to go with the Cowboys to win here, and so the Cowboys to win. In terms of a spread, I'm going to go with the Cowboys as well at minus 2.5, plus 2.5 rather. And in terms of a total points, I do believe here that we should have over 42.5 points in this game. Alright, we should have over 42.5 points in this game. So let me see here. And now we have over 43. We're gonna go with the 43.5 points. So recapping predictions for this game, I'm expecting the Cowboys to win here at $1.87. In terms of a spread, I'm going to see the Cowboys at plus 2.5, and that is $1.66 to do so. In terms of total points, I'm saying here we should have over 43.5 points, and that's $1.50. Alright, so heading on to the next game, the Bengals versus the Steelers. I'm expecting here the Steelers to challenge Bengals here. It's not going to be easy, but as I say, it's going to be tough, but I do expect the Steelers to challenge them and so throw them off defensively, and with a tight defense, it should turn out to be a low scoring one, I believe. Just a little bit, maybe about 40 or a little bit less than 40, yeah? You never know with these two teams, with this kind of defense. I'm expecting Steelers to put up. Alright, and so Steelers to win this game, and in terms of spread, I'm going to go with the Steelers at plus 4.5. Alright, so the Steelers are plus 4.5. In terms of total points, I'm saying here we should have under 42.5 points. And in terms of a recap now, that's where we're at for the Bengals versus Steelers. I'm expecting the Steelers to win here at $2.80. Yes, I'm expecting the Steelers to win. And also in terms of the spread, I'm going with Steelers as well at plus 4.5, and that's $1.95. Alright, and in terms of total points for this game, I'm saying we should have under 42.5 points, and that's $1.80. Alright, so that's how the good rumbles for that game. And then we'll move on to our next game, and our next game is the Chiefs versus the Chargers. This is the final game for Sunday night game, Sunday night football, yeah. And so the Chiefs versus the Chargers, I'm expecting the Chiefs to handle business here. And in terms of spread, I'm taking the Chiefs here at minus 6.5, and so we're not seeing it, so we're gonna go with minus 7.5. Chiefs minus 7.5. And in terms of total points here, I'm going to say we should have over 44.5 points in this game. Alright, we should have over 44.5 points in this game. That's enough, so we're going to take over 45.5 points in this game. Alright, so recapping predictions for the Chiefs versus the Los Angeles Chargers. I'm expecting the Kansas City Chiefs to win here at $1.33. In terms of spread, I'm going with the Kansas City Chiefs at minus 7.5. And that's $2 if they do so. And in terms of total points, I'm saying we should have over 45.5 points in this game, and that's $1.50. They do fulfill that prediction. Alright, so moving on to our next game, which is Monday Night Football, and this one will be held in Mexico. Alright, and so this is another historic week in the NFL. Like last week when they went to Germany, now we're going to Mexico. And so this game will be the 49ers versus the Cardinals, and this one is going to be an interesting one. Based on form and based on how both teams have been playing, I would say the 49ers are the favorites here, and I'm going with 49ers to win this one. And in terms of a spread, I'm saying here that the 49ers are taking them at minus 6.5. And in terms of total points, I'm saying that here we should have over 41.5 points in this game, right? Recapping predictions for 49ers versus the Cardinals, I'm expecting the 49ers to win at $1.28. In terms of a spread, I'm saying here the San Francisco 49ers also at minus 6.5, and that's $1.66. In terms of total points, I'm saying we should have over 41.5 points in this game, and that is $1.66 as well. So those are the predictions for the 49ers versus the Cardinals, and this is how the cookie crumbles for this week of the NFL. Your betting tips and game picks. Alright, so thank you for joining. Thank you for watching my videos, and also remember to share these videos with your friends and social media, and ensure that you click the notification bell whenever you subscribe. Thank you for your support. I wish you best of luck, and have a great weekend and enjoy yourself.